All right, guys, we got breaking news for you. It's Saturday, and we have a special edition drop list, so stay tuned. Welcome back, Gainers, to another incredible, exciting, fantastic episode of ComicGains! And if you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this is Princess Aurora has looking very lovely today, just like usual, doing that princess way, so bow down in respect. And there's Coco. Coco, give it a paw. Bye. Hi.
Oh, she's waving.
Oh,
taught her how to wave?
So cute.
All right, okay, that's good. Okay, all right, guys. So like I said, today is Saturday, and we normally do the drop list on Monday, but we do have another con to go to this weekend, so we are going to do a con haul video on Monday. It kind of works out that way, you kind of have to film it after you get back, not before you get back.
Right.
Otherwise, you have nothing to haul. But, yeah.
And CGC's coming back, so we're going to be doing a CGC unboxing. Large order, guys. More than 25. Yeah, or maybe we'll just do the 25 and then the 9, but total 34.
There's a lot of stuff coming up. But, yeah, so we give you a little treat, get to do the drop list for you on Saturday in case you're out hunting and you're seeing any of these books you're interested in, because these books are all on the low. Mm-hmm. But yeah, before we get into any of that, though, about any drop listing and cracking open books, and Zach's going to crack open something else.
I'm going to crack open a little Starbucks Energy, a coffee drink. It's a triple shot energy, extra strength, 225 milligrams of caffeine, and it's a cafe mocha, guys. And it doesn't taste like burnt coffee. At least I hope not. I hate burnt coffee.
It tastes like a lot of sugar. What about the quad shot?
Quad shot. They don't give me the quad shot. Ooh, you're right. 30 grams. Ugh.
It's like four servings in the can, too. It's not even a whole serving. How many servings are in the can?
It tastes good.
Oh, one can?
One can is one serving.
That's not 210 calories isn't that bad.
Not that bad, but if you drink 3-4 of these a day,
no.
Wow, that's a lot of calories. Yeah. Ugh, not good for you. Yeah, it's very tasty for 30 grams. Sugar.
I hope so. All right, guys. So if you're new to the drop list, the Gains crew scours the internet for trending lists, hot lists, all kinds of things that where these books were really exciting a year ago. And what we check to see is any of these books lowered in price, at least a significant amount, worthwhile looking at whether or not you should pick it up because it's dropped for a certain reason, or whether or not some books just keep on going down.
People forget about it.
Yeah.
People forget. And we're not going to remind you while it's on the cheap to get it.
Very good about that. Yeah. And a lot of times, we go out and buy books off this list. We get some of our viewers that message us some books they picked up off the list. It's really cool, and it's fun. It's kind of nice to remember books, because a lot of times people are putting out lists of stuff you should be looking out for because it's getting hot. These are books that are not getting hot. So, it's kind of fun.
Absolutely.
All right. So, we do have a special. We added a 6th book in today. So, for all you guys who've been so good out there, you get an extra book. So, let's kick it off with Avengers 232 from 1983. I think this is the only book we didn't have because I think we sold it a year ago on the high. Pretty sure we had it. We sold it a year ago, right? So 1983 got some sweet Al Milgrom and Roger Stern goodness. But this book is the when Eros is renamed as Star Fox, and he also joins the Avengers. Mm-hmm. So I know when we had this a while ago, it was kind of almost a $1 bin book. I'm like a $5 book or so. We were kind of this is kind of nothing. We'll set this aside. And then they had all that Arrow spec coming up, and I was like, whoa, we have that book in our junk pile. I was like, let's go look for it. Let's dig it. I love when that happens. And you find this book, and you pull them oh, here's the Arrows. And, we went out and sold it, got a fair price for it. It's kind of, sometimes you do that, sometimes you keep it. We have held books way too long many a time. This is one of those times we did not. But, obviously, this book was getting popular because everybody found out Harry Styles was playing him in the Eternals movie. And just got, that's probably one of the bright things about the movie at the end, even though it was just a little tidbit of Harry Styles at the end. But don't forget that his real first appearance is in Iron Man 55, with everybody else. Yeah. Everybody else's first appearances in that book.
Yeah. Thanos, the Blood Brothers, I think the mentor, or Thanos' father is in there. Drax, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of people. It's a list like this. I didn't even realize there's that many people.
Yeah. So there'll be a lot to come. We will see Eros in the future, Star Fox. He is kind of the ladies' man of the Marvel Universe. I know he's gotten in trouble a few times for that. So be on the lookout. There's also a Canadian price variant for this book, and it's 75 cents.
Very nice.
So, Zach, what the numbers on this, though? Is it time to be looking out for this book again? Because he's not dead. He may be coming back.
It's actually staying pretty steady, at least from a year ago to now. It has dropped in between it, but it is slightly leveled out again. So price a year ago was $699.99 for a 9.8. Now it's $595, so about $104 drop. But in that year time period, it sold for as low as $344.39 and as high as $749.99. Average is $572.29. I would say this is not the best time to buy it. If you could get closer to like the $400 range, I think that would be a good purchase. I think if it starts popping off again, this book probably will go up to the $700, $800, maybe $900 range, and that's really not a very big gain if you were to buy it right now. So yeah, I would try to find it a little bit cheaper. And there's other books on the list that you might want to go after instead of this.
It's a weird book, too, because it's a name change. It's a great cover, but it's a name change. But it does fall in that line where, like, 55 is kind of way too expensive for anybody. If you really like Star Fox, you're like, I better go get 55. Like, I don't know. Like, you should have that book anyways, but probably not for the reason of Star Fox.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Next on the list, we have Amazing Spider-Man 569 from 2008. And this is the variant cover. So you got the Addie Granoff variant cover. The normal one is John Romita Jr. And it's also written by Dan Slott. So this is the first cameo of Anti-Venom, which appears on the last page. So this is one of those weird occurrences where the cameo is way more expensive than the full first appearance.
It's weird.
Yeah, and I mean, the cover is a much better cover. It's not great cover compared to the first full appearance, the 570, but it's way more expensive. And Strange is only at the end of the book, but. It's just kind of a hard one to figure out why this book was getting hot here, and there was a lot of people were thinking that Anti-Venom could show up in some version, either like in the Venom movie, or I know he's starting to get a little more popular again in the comics. Kind of interesting character, like basically at this time period, like Eddie gets cancer and they try to like heal him with some like light therapy sort of thing, and ends up hurting like the Venom suit, and it creates like a brother version which bonds with his white blood cells. Okay. Which is why it turns white instead of like where the Carnage suit bonds with the red blood cells and turns red. So it's kind of an interesting thing, but there's also been other people. I think actually Flash Thompson's suit, Agent Venom, is actually a version of Anti-Venom. Okay. That like turns into it. But cool book. Be on the lookout for the second print. It's a ridiculously cool cover, and it's limited to like 8,000 copies. It's like really expensive. So keep a lookout for that one. I think this will always be a cool book because people just love Anti-Venom. But Zach, what are the numbers on it though?
The numbers are for cover A, because might as well just go after cover A, honestly.
It's more expensive than the variant, even though that cover's better.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah. So price a year ago for cover A in a CGC 9.8 is $299. Now $138.19. Super cheap.
What?
Super cheap.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know what I'm going to be looking out for.
I know, right? Me too. Range $138 to $300. So it's it's at the lowest point it's ever been. Average sales $258.38. That tells you right there that it has normally sold closer to the $300 range. This is a unique occurrence, and you should be getting this in 9.8 for $100-something. Honestly, I mean, the symbiote spec's always going to be out there. They're always going to try to be adding Venom or symbiote into a movie here and there. They're going to splash it, maybe even talk about it. They're going to have to do it because if they want to make more money, Sony needs to make more money, and this is how they're going to do it, or should. And and you should try to benefit from it too by buying this in a 9.8, or at least a raw copy for like. Sometimes you find it for $2. Sometimes it's $10. I would buy them both if they're in decent condition. Condition's everything. Get those hands.
Yeah. Second print. Keep an eye out for it. It's a cool book. Whoa. It's really cool looking.
Crazy.
Okay. Next up on the list, we have a princess special because she's the one that actually taught us about this book a year ago, and now it shows up on our list. So we have Ghost Rider number 33 from 2009. This is Arthur Sudan and Jason Aaron. Doing the writing on this book. It is an awesome awesome freaking cover on this book. But you have first appearance of 6 different Ghost Riders, some from the future, some from the past. You have some from World War One, World War Two. So like all these different characters that have worn the Spirit of Vengeance at one time or another. It also has a pretty good origin story for the Spirit of Vengeance. But this book just got hot when everyone was anticipating like Ghost Rider coming to the MCU, and there's like, you know, what, 4 different regular Ghost Riders out there. You know, you got everybody out there, so everyone's speculating like which character is going to show up. And a year ago, this book got hot because of that, and I didn't even know this book existed till Princess was showing us. She's like, "This is my hot book for the week," and showed us the book, and we're like, "Okay, we didn't know anything about this book." And yeah, I mean that all that kind of Ghost Rider stuff kind of died down a little bit, so it's definitely fallen in price a tad. So you just want to, you know, probably keep a lookout for it. Zach will give you a little more info. It also has a low print run. It's only a 21,000 print run on this book. So yeah, that's pretty low for just a regular old goodie book. So what do you got there, Zach?
And it shows in the census and everything. So interesting why I looked that up is because there's no sales for 9.8 in the entire year.
Whoa.
Anywhere, right? So I'm like, okay, how many is there really? So there's 15 9.8.
1.5?
1.5.
Oh, wow.
15 9.8s. 11 of them are Universal. 4 of them are Signature Series. In the 9.6, there's only 10 of them, right? There's only 36 total graded. So the only accurate numbers I could find is in the 9.6. A price a year ago was selling for $72.77, and now it's selling for $36, right? And the range 36 to 72.77, average 54.39, right? So the 9.6 is selling right now for about $40. People do have some listed in the 9.8 for like over $600.
Wow. That's a pretty big separation there in price.
Yes. I think probably fair market value for this book is probably, honestly, $400. So that would make the 9.6 should be worth about $200.
Well, and
maybe
then you have the scarcity, so it goes up a little bit.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, I would keep an eye out for this book. I would not try to find it unless it's a screaming deal, already graded, unless you just want to get a 9.6 for $40, which is a bad idea. I would try to find this in the wild, find a high grade copy, and get that 9.8, and you know, scream all the way to the bank, because you're gonna be putting probably $80 into it, and you're gonna get a $400+ book.
Name your price at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
All right, there's one to keep an eye out for. Okay, next up on the list, and we'll round this list out with all DC goodness. So we got Brightest Day #4 from 2010. We got David Finch and Jeff Johns goodness. We haven't done too many of these. This is first appearance of Jackson Hyde, the second Aqualad, and the first cover of Deathstrom, who is that guy on the cover there. It looks pretty cool. He's actually not in the story, but kind of a cool character. This book got hot a year ago, actually a little bit longer than a year ago, but you got April in 2022. Charlize Theron announced that she's going to be adapting this character into a TV show. We haven't really heard much more since then, you know, with all the cancellation axing of all the DC stuff. I don't know if this was on that list. I don't know if it ever officially got kicked off the ground, but interesting that she would pick such a new character to go after to create a show. But he is one of like the brighter stars of like DC's next gen heroes. You know, like they don't have that many out there, so it's kind of one of their better characters going on. I know like this whole Brightest Day story is really good. A lot of people really like the Brightest Day story, so be on the lookout. There is a 1-in-25 ratio, which looks really cool. It actually has Hawkman and Hawkgirl hugging each other as skeletons.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Really cool. And it looks like it's undervalued, too. For being a ratio of this book, it's only like $60-$70. So that might be something I might be looking for next. As you know, all these DC books are way underpriced, but Zach will give you a little more hint. This book, I was surprised how cheap we were able to find these books.
It's very cheap.
Yeah.
Prices a year ago was $175 for a 9.8. Now it's $115. Not quite in half, but getting close to that. Range over a year was $93.75 to as high as $200.72. Average sale $136.89. It's kind of pushing it whether you want to get this in a 9.8 for the price it is right now. It's not that expensive, but at the same time, like, it's a newer book. You can probably find them for $10 a piece. You can just buy them, press them yourselves if you have a press, send them out like Scatterfire, and probably get a couple 9.8s back. Sell off the rest, and you probably total investment into it is basically zero because you probably only want to keep 1 or 2 9.8s.
Mm.
What the heck? Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad book to get. I would probably not get a 9.8 unless you submit it yourself and get a 9.8. That's what I would think about this book. Honestly.
I smell what you're cooking.
Cool. Can you smell what the Zach is cooking? Let's go.
All right. Okay. We're going to round out this list here with New Teen Titans Annual number 2 from 1983. It's a lot of 1983 good. That was a good year, 1983.
Was comfortable.
We got Eduardo Barroto and Marv Wolfman working on this book. This is the first appearance of Vigilante in costume. It also has Harbinger and Jade Nguyen. Yeah, this book obviously was hot, a year ago with Peacemaker coming on. That was an interesting thing because, with the Peacemaker show coming out, there was a little bit of a boost with the characters being in the show, but I don't think that big of a boost because you talk to a lot of people like, are you watching Peacemaker? And they're like, no, what is that show? And then all of a sudden everyone started watching it, and the books had a second wave. They actually got hot again after the show was on, which was kind of strange. And Freddie Strom, the actor who played Vigilante, amazing. And it's crazy that he only got casted right as the movie or the show was starting filming. Mm-hmm. They actually got rid of the other actor and brought him in, which worked out pretty well. But yeah, it's just overall a cool book. It got a little expensive for a while. They're not too expensive, but a little bit expensive. And just to keep in mind, Zach will always tell you, look out for New Teen Titans number 23, which is the first appearance of Adrian Chase. And wait. Blackfire.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait.
He always pounds it into our heads every time you see that book.
I love that
character. Blackfire.
Yeah.
So, but just another book, and that's kind of criminally underrated too. It's kind of interesting. That's his first appearance as Adrian Chase, but this is first Vigilante. Plus, you got an extra backup first appearance in there to cover your rear end. But is it a good time to pick up Vigilante? Because the show's coming back. Of everything that got canceled, Peacemaker did not get canceled.
I would even say they should make a Vigilante show exclusively. And going on adventures would be like Deadpool, the TV show. And they should do that too. Anyways, prices a year ago was $275 for a CGC 9.8. Now, not too bad of a drop. $196.50. Not bad. Range $196.50 is the lowest been throughout the year. It's been as high as $470. Oh, God.
Missed that boat.
Yeah,
we were
right?
sitting on 10 copies.
We were sitting on a lot. Average sales is $324.57. I mean, again, just like the last one, it's a little high. But at the same time, if you like this character, it might not be a bad price point to get in it. I would like to get this book for about $150, but if you like the character, if you like the book, if you like all this, you got the extra, scratch, buy it. Buy it right now. I don't think for this one that if you were to look very hard, get 10 copies in a high grade and send it in, you might get a couple 9.8s, but at the same time, they might charge you arm and leg because high-end copies come probably from high-end dealers, and dealers don't usually like to get deals. If this was 10 or 20
Why do
years
they call themselves dealers then?
I don't know. They deal your crap. I mean, I think it'd be very hard to actually do the scattershot method with this book because it's a little bit older. That's what I think. I think if you want a 9.8, you're probably going to have to buy it unless you actually have already a nice copy.
Yeah.
And just send it in. Kind of thing. I would say this is buy, but
it's a while.
A little bit farther down on the list, but it's a good book.
All right. And last on the list, might as well, we got Vigilante number 1, pretty much for the same reasons the other book was on the list. Also done in 1983, so it came out pretty close right after he put on the costume in New Teen Titans. But this Keith Pollard did the artwork on this one with Marv Wolfman writing the story again, keeping it going. But this is the first ongoing series for Vigilante, and it's not too expensive. It's kind of cool. A lot of people mix this up with this. For a long time, people were mixing this up with his first appearance because it looks very similar to the other one. But it's an awesome cover. Great cover. I know I passed on it quite a few times. It's a nicer book to find for $10 raw if you're going $10 and under. A lot of times you'll see them priced at $20. It's kind of pushing it a little bit. See how it goes, but just a good book to keep an eye out for. The series does end at issue 50 though, so it goes all the way from 1 to 50. So pretty cool run. But I don't know what's the CGC on this one.
It's the price. It's pretty
low, right?
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I mean, and it's kind of weird. So prices a year ago was $120.51, and now it's $95. Didn't drop too much, but it's still like for this book it should be higher. Range $50. It's been as low as $50, and as high as $408.
Jesus.
One sale on Heritage, and it was like whoever bought that. Okay, I'm not gonna say it, but you're thinking. I'm thinking. Average sales is $148.32. This is if you get this book graded, you're just throwing money away, honestly. Unless you really like the character, it's like you can buy it at cheap. You can go most likely, like I said, you're gonna send it in. It's gonna get a 9.6. It's gonna be worth nothing.
Yeah,
literally,
that is true. You run that
nothing.
risk. Yeah.
If it gets a 9.8, it's gonna be worth $95. $95 for all that work, all that waiting. I mean, if you want this book in 9.8, if you really want it, just buy it already in a 9.8. Don't submit it. Don't do it. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your time. Just buy it in 9.8. All right?
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. And
the more you know.
You look at it, the best one to buy right now, and in the 9.8 already graded, is ASM 569, first Anti-Venom. I think that would be a very awesome get. To get raw, to get graded, would be Ghost Rider 33. I think those two books are the ones you want to keep an eye out. If you want to have if you have some extra money in your hand and you want to get some good investment books, I think those two on this list are your meal ticket.
All right, good one, Zach. All right, that's gonna wrap up the show for today. And if you like hearing these drop lists as much as we like delivering these drop lists, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you always know when new things are going down, because we're trying to go live every Wednesday to hang out with you guys. And we have some big Wednesdays coming up. So this next Wednesday, we're going to be opening the very first That SpiderMan booth. He's like a monthly mystery box. We're getting the very first box. We're going to open that with you guys and check it out live. See if everybody likes it as much as, well, we haven't seen it yet. So we'll decide whether or not we like it. And like Zach said, we have a whole bunch of CGC stuff coming back. We started pressing our own books. So we have a lot coming in that I pressed personally. So we'll see how good I did. We're going to be taking pictures of the future. I'm going to take pictures before pressing, after pressing, and then we'll get to see. I don't know, but this will be my first round. See if I screwed anything up. I don't know. They don't look too confident in me. But we'll see. But yeah, also stay tuned this evening because the Wolfpack solo member will be on. Johnny Five Alive is going to be on Whatnot tonight on Saturday. We're going to be there hanging out with him. I think we'll be back to our regular schedule this coming week. So we'll be back to Saturdays going at 4 and 5 o'clock respective. Absolutely. We'll have special Halloween episodes, part 2 for the Gaines crew, and a part 1 for Princess. You're doing a special Halloween episode, correct? Yeah. Yeah, because I think this will be the last Saturday before Halloween, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Get your candy ready. Get your sugar levels heightened.
Yeah. Get your fix for a good Halloween books.
Mm-hmm. And Zach, you got anything else?
Yeah, sure. How you do that is you have to be driving a vehicle, but not just any vehicle, a really long vehicle, a vehicle that's, I believe, one of a kind for this big company. And it's great. You're driving all over America. People take pictures with you, with the thing, probably with you because you're the driver. Maybe you got a nice hat on because why not? You always have to have a nice hat on when you're driving a vehicle of that quality, right? Well, and you get some enjoyment going in and out of tunnels. Maybe take some pictures. And that's how you become an Oscar Mayer Wiener driver.
I thought you were going.
Oscar Mayer Wiener
vehicle.
vehicle.
The tunnels, yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah. And if you're driving for the first time, you're doing that. Sorry. We're degenerates, okay? If I was doing it, I would be like, oh, look at this. I'd probably get fired.
They still have the Wienermobile?
Absolutely. They have to. Because it's good advertisement right there.
That's true.
Because we see it, then you're like, I need to do some grilling. I need to get some Oscar Mayer wieners. Grill up some wieners.
Until we see you next time, guys. Stay safe and remember.
Get those little wiener gains. Wait, what? Every single one.
Get 'em.
Later.